Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Subject study is microbiology and parasitology by Madam Azila. We from group 16. My name is Nuriza Zira binti Roslan. My number index DNS 07212214.
My name is Cipinur binti Cikgu Muhammad and my metric number is DNS 072217.
My name is Fatin Muhammad Zami and my metric DNS 072122.
My name is Mela Nurfaiz Fiza binti Ahmed. My magic number is DNS 07212225.
My name is Ilya Maisara binti Azman and my metric number is DNS 07212218.
My name is Nurhayani Ramli and my metric number is DNS 07212258.
My name is Nur Kamarzana binti Kamarzan and my matrix number is DNS 07212211.
My name is Nur Syafiqah Azan binti Muhammad Shikri. My metric number is 07212252.
My name is Muhammad Muaz Mosari. My metric number is DNS 07212189.
My name is Muhammad Ahmad Iqmal bin Bahrain. My metric number is 07212223.
Presenting our topics rubella. Let's present. Rubella. Rubella is our group topics. I will talk about what is rubella. Rubella is contagious viral infection best known by its distinctive red rash. It's also called German measles or 3-day measles. While this infection may cause much symptom or even no symptom in most people, it can cause very serious problem for unborn babies whose mother become infected during pregnancy. Then, rubella is not the same as measles, but the two illnesses share some symptoms, including red rash. Rubella is caused by a different virus than measles, and rubella is not an infectious or as severe as measles. That's all from me. I will pass to my friends to elaborate more about rubella. Thank you.
My presentation topic for today is type of microorganism that cause the disease. The rubella virus is a RNA virus and belongs to the genus Rubevirus and the family Togaviridae. It is of a single serotype divided into two clades, and within these two clades there are at least 7 genotypes. The genetic variation does not translate into antigenic differences. Humans are the sole reservoir of rubella virus, with postnatal person-to-person transmission occurring via direct or droplet contact with the respiratory secretion of infected person. Although the early events surrounding infection are incompletely characterized, the virus almost certainly multiplies in cells of the respiratory tract. It extends to local lymph nodes and then undergoes viremic spread to target organs. Subsequent additional replication in selected target organs, such as the spleen and lymph node, leads to a secondary viremia with wide distribution of rubella virus. At this time, approximately 7 days after infection and 7 to 10 days before the onset of rash, the virus can be detected in the blood and respiratory secretion viremia. This appears shortly after the onset of rash. It is also associated with the appearance of circulating neutralizing antibodies. However, virus shedding from the respiratory tract may continue for up to 28 days following the onset of rash. Rubella infection in the first 3 or 4 months of pregnancy provide opportunities during the period of maternal viremia for invasion of the placenta and subsequent fetal infection. Development of infection probably depends upon gestational age. It has been estimated that the fetus has a 40 to 60% chance of developing multiple rubella associated defect if the mother is infected during the first 2 months of pregnancy, with the risk dropping to 30 to 35% during the 3rd month of gestation and 10% during the 4th. These differences in both risk for and severity of fetal infection seen with gestational age may be associated with major host defenses during the first 3 semesters of pregnancy. During fetal infection, the virus can multiply in and damage virtually any organ system. Pathogenesis of the congenital defect is not fully understood. However, a number of mechanisms has been proposed. Cell cultures studies show that the virus produces chromosomal abnormalities, slow cellular growth rate, and cause cell lysis and death in some cell types. These effects appear capable of producing the characteristic abnormalities of cell structures and function. In addition, rubella infection induces angiopathy of early placenta of embryonic tissues, causing interference with the fetal blood supply and subsequent compromised growth and malformation of the fetus. In the congenitally infected fetus and infant, virus persistence in the presence of neutralizing antibodies, immunological tolerance does not develop. Thank you. That's all for me.
So now I will present about microbiology classification of microorganism. Rubella infection is an rhinovirus that classified to the genus Rubivirus in the family Togaviridae. But since 2018, it has changed to be the sole genus of the family Matonaviridae. It consists of a single serotype isolated into 2 clades, each containing at the slightest 7 genotypes. Hereditary variety does not differ into antigenic contrast. Humans are the only known reservoirs of the rubella virus, with postnatal person-to-person transmission happening through coordinate or big contact with the respiratory emission of tainted people. In spite of the fact that the early occasion encompassing diseases are not actually characterized, the infection nearly constantly increases in cells of the respiratory tract, amplifies to nearly limb hubs, and after that experiences binomic speed to target organ.
I will continue about characteristic of rubella virus. Rubella virus is spherical, positive since single-stranded RNA virus with spike-like hemagglutinin-containing surface projections. They are acellular and contain no cytoplasma of cellular organelles. Rubella virus contains 3 major structural polypeptides, 2 membrane glycoproteins E1 and E2, and a single non-glycosylated RNA-associated capsid protein C within the variant. One of the envelope proteins, E1, is responsible for viral hemagglutination and neutralization. E2 has been found in 2 forms, E2A and E2B, due to differences in glycosylations. The differences among strains of rubella virus have been corrected with difference in the antigenicity of E2. That's all from me. Thank you.
Now, I will continue with the microorganism linked to human. These viruses are distinctive and can cause infection upon entering the body. All viruses should thrive and survive could be a have. Once the virus sets itself up in a host body, it oversees to maintain a strategic distance from the body-resistant reaction and employment the body's asset to reproduce before exiting, and spreading to be an unused have. It can be transmitted many ways depending on the type. Whereas rubella infection contamination ordinarily causes a gentle fever and hasty in children and adults. Contamination amid pregnancy, particularly amid the primary trimester, can result in premature delivery, fetal passing, stillbirth, or newborn children with an inherent mutation, known as congenital rubella syndrome.
This syndrome can cause one or more problems such as cataract, deafness, and congenital heart defect. That's all from me. Thank you.
I will explain about life cycle of rubella virus. Life cycle of rubella virus has 7 phases. The first intervention, 2 absorption, 3 penetration, 4 acquiring, 5 synthesis, 6 maturation, the last one is releasing. The first point is delivered to the host cell. First of all, the virus into the host cell. Point 2. Absorption necessitates the virus attaching to the surface of the host cell. As soon as the virus into the host cell, it causes absorption which entices the virus to attach to the host cell. And then, the virus releases its protein layer to begin replication using genetic material of the host cell. Absorption is followed by penetration if the virus is exposed. It causes the cell to eat it. Further, the event of disassembly due to the viral envelope and cascade rupture and release of the viral genome into the fluid of the interest is required for viral replication to occur. If the virus is not sorted, it is difficult to detect the joining virus in the host cell. Point 3. Can destroy the virus with enzyme and other molecules designed to repel the virus attack. And then, eclipse phase. This is because virus assimilate in the cell which is expected to form a new virus in the eclipse. Point 4. Cell chemistry is used to create DNA and RNA. Cell chemistry is used to create DNA and RNA from the building block of nucleic acids, the resistant phase to form a new virus. Last but not least, virus generation phase. Some of these cell function can have an impact on the entire body. After a new copy of the virus consolidated, it is released by the cell. That's all life cycle of rubella virus. That's all from me. Thank you.
Now, I'm gonna talk about transmission mode of the microorganism. Rubella is caused by a virus that is passed from person to another person. This virus is considered dangerous, especially to pregnant mothers, because it can simply spread through the air via coughs or sneezes of people who are infected. The virus also spreads through fluids from the nose and throat. One person is infected, the virus spreads throughout the body in about 5 to 7 days. Rubella virus multiples in cells of the respiratory system. This is followed by viral spread to target organs. The question is, how does rubella transmitted? Rubella is transmitted by direct contact or droplet. The risk of transmission is about 10 to 30%. A person with rubella may spread the disease to others up to 1 week before the rash appears and remain contagious up to 7 days after. I think that's all from me.
So here I will talk about treatment for rubella. There is no specific medicines to treat rubella or even make the disease go away faster. Even antibiotics, because they only work against bacteria and not viruses. In many cases, symptoms are mild, especially in kids. For others, mild symptoms can be managed with bed rest and medicines for fevers such as acetaminophen and ibuprofen to ease minor discomfort. And aspirin cannot be used to a child who has a vital illness. Check the child's temperature and refer to doctor if the temperature of the child is getting too high. That's all from me. Thank you.
For my part, I will present how to control and inhibit their microorganism from causing the rubella. Number 1, rubella can be prevented with MMR vaccine. This protects against 3 diseases: measles, mumps, and rubella. CDC recommends children get 2 doses of MMR vaccine, starting with the first dose at 12 through 15 months of age and the second dose at 4 through 6 years of age. Number 2, to prevent rubella, a person can undergo a blood test to identify whether there are antibodies to rubella in their blood. Women who are planning to become pregnant are advised to undergo an immunity test against rubella before they become pregnant. Vaccination can protect women and unborn babies from congenital rubella syndrome. This immunization will not be performed on pregnant women. However, the doctor will not have an abortion if the woman does not realize that they are pregnant when they receive the immunization shot. Rubella is highly contagious within a week to 7 days after the rash appears. Thank you.
Next, summary. Rubella is an infection caused by a virus. It is usually mild with fever and rash. About half of people who get rubella have symptoms. If you get it, symptoms may include: first, a rash that starts on the face and spreads to the body. Second, mild fever. Third, joint pain, especially in young women. And the last one, swollen glands. Symptoms of rubella most commonly appear 12 to 23 days following exposure and include a rash, generalized swollen glands, eyes irritation, joint pain, and slight fever. Rubella is also a highly contagious viral disease spread through contact with discharge from the nose and throat of an infected person. It can have severe complications for women in their first trimester of pregnancy.
Rubella is an infection that mostly affects the skin and lymph node. These complications include severe birth defects or death of the fetus. The most dangerous for pregnant women babies. It can cause miscarriage or birth defect. People without symptoms also can spread it. Rubella vaccination should be in the immunization program as soon as possible to ensure additional gains in rubella control can be made. Thank you.
That's all from our group. Thank you for your attention. We hope if you see anyone with unhealthy symptoms, please wear your mask and sanitize your hands. Thank you.